Hello, NFL 5 fans. Good evening. I'd come back to you with the last three deck profiles for the Steelers, Raiders, and Vikings. I figured since I plowed one video into each of those, I would probably try and make this a little quicker and kind of put these teams out here. I'll start with the Raiders because it's actually pretty pretty similar to the ideas, so that way you can kind of take a look for yourself as far as the idea rolling behind these. But let's take a look. So Las Vegas says obviously if all your players are Raiders, if your successful long passes of 50 or more yards are considered touchdowns. So um, very, very strong if you have a long pass that goes over 50 yards. Well, how do we accomplish that? In this particular deck, it's obviously 2022 Darren Waller. All of your passes that gain 50 or more yards are considered to be long passes. So if you throw a short or medium pass that's over 50 yards, it becomes long and becomes an automatic touchdown with Las Vegas. So let's see how we get there. Derek Carr, while this card is energized, successful short passes gain double yardage. So if you run a 25-yard short pass, it's going to be 50 because it's doubled. And because it's 50, it's being considered long pass, and you get a touchdown. So Raiders, kind of in the same Bucks strategy where it's like they're trying to go long pass, kind of like the Chiefs as well, but they're doing it in a different way. And so they can do short and medium and long and still get there, right? So these are the two start pieces of the combo. Obviously, you have Devontae Adams, which is exhaust, and let you go search your deck for two long passes, reveal and put them in your hand. So it allows you to get those long passes. Now, it does show your opponent that you do have long passes. You could set that up for like defense later on down the road, or just straight come at them in the face because do they have it? Do they have it or do they don't? They would be able to see your strength and what your crit check would be, so they can try to counter that. But you're getting two of them, so then it kind of lets you play the mind game. How this game is, technically part of the game of being played is that mind game. So that's pretty cool. So it kind of runs into that synergy. The last two are just to get us there, right? So we have Antonio Brown, 2019, very old card, but one of the best cards from that set. On a receive, gain 15 yards. 15 yards was the most that you could do back in 2019, so just a vanilla, very, very strong. Next one is Hunter Renfrow. If this player is designated for a successful short pass at the end of the down, energize him. So you can basically keep throwing it to him. He'll ready himself if it's a short pass. So there's that piece there, kind of keeps you going. Overall, I would say that this is a solid 3 to 3.5. Nothing super broken about their offense, but has that mindset of what it can do. On defense, we have Markel Lee, short or medium pass on a tackle who can remove an extra time unit. This is actually really, really strong in tournament play where you're taking off 2 time ticks anyway. So this will take an additional one, forcing them to maybe want to call timeout or giving them a little less time to actually make it. Trayvon Mullen, tackle pass, 15 yards if your team is synergized, which it is, so 15 free yards. Jonathan Abram on a 0 to 6, play would gain more than 20 yards. It only gains 20 yards instead. So this guy is a prevent defense on a stick. Max Crosby, tackle run, 15 fewer yards if your team is synergized, which it is. So we're 15 on here, 15 here, pass or run. And we've got, of course, some additional time unit, and then tackle, prevent defense. Last but not least, Charles Woodson. He's the legend. If you force a turnover and this card is energized, it automatically takes it back for a touchdown. So if you get a long pass touchdown and intercept the ball, touchdown. So you just got to be aware of things like Tom Brady. Yeah. So taking a look at the action deck, it's very similar to what we've already shown you. Natural abilities outperform, 2 sideline adjustment, 2 training recall, 2 open air stadium, 1 heat wave, 2 break tackles, 1 instant replay, 1 Circuit Breaker, 1 Field Dynamics, 1 Miraculous Play, 1 Deja Vu, 1 Speed Kills, 1 Draw Offsides. So a lot of one-ofs, just kind of tech slots for what they do. What's really cool about instant replay, obviously, if you get an opening where you take a short pass that doesn't get you into the end zone, let's say 20 yards goes double, it's 40. So it doesn't get you into the end zone. However, you can instant replay, play it again, same thing, which just automatically guarantees that you're going to hit the next play and still get that same reward. So very, very cool there. Obviously, Miraculous Play is just good synergy with Charles Woodson. Basically, a one-time force a turnover instead of taking over on your 15, you just take it back for a touchdown. If you have the ability to do that when your opponent doesn't, your opponent doesn't have like a not this Sunday or something like that, it can be very, very detrimental to them. Very strong, good idea put together, but it's definitely still very susceptible to like draw offsides, things like that. So again, I won't tell you about the play deck. Obviously, you kind of have to come up with that on your own, and just kind of, say, well, this is what I have, to put together. Bring up your own mindset. If you want to run all long passes like Kansas City, sure, may not be the best thing for you. If you want to run all passes, short, medium, and long, that's another way you could do it. Just find an opening, play it that way. Next, I will go into the Steelers. Steelers a little bit different. This is actually pretty cool. Obviously, if you're all Steelers, whenever you use a tackle ability, you may energize. Whenever you use a tackle ability, energize another player on the field. So, what is good with this is obviously this is a defensive synergy team. So we'll take a look at this. Obviously, I'll show you some things that make this team pretty good, right? We also would like to have Darius Slay on this team, would be amazing, but we don't, so it's fine. On this one, obviously, so when it comes to their offense, I will probably give their offense a solid 3, pushing to the 3.5. Nothing too broken. This one's definitely a defensive-oriented deck. You'll see with obviously like TJ Watt. When you have TJ Watt, superstar TJ Watt, it turns off a good amount of your opponent's players, which helps you just win the game that way. So we take a look at Claypool. Return a gridiron card from discard pile to your hand. Najee Harris exhausts its first down, energizes player, and the next play is unstoppable. So your first down, becomes unstoppable. So it's much like Tampa Bay. Mitch Trubisky has a bench ability who says whenever one of your Steelers defensive players is energized, your opponent loses 5 yards, which is a cool interaction. I'll show you what you can do with that. Just straight losing 5 yards with that ability. So Juju Smith-Schuster, receive, cancel the abilities of the tackler. So just a good, strong, cancel the tackler and, keep moving. Went with George Pickens, receive. If you called a successful run this drive, the play gains an additional 20 yards. So if you run the ball, unstoppable run the ball, and then, come into this, pass and you get an additional 20 yards. So good opening. Like I said, good solid 3 to 3.5 overall. Moving on to the defense, TJ Watt. We're not too keen on what this TJ Watt does because we want to get into the superstar mode as quickly as possible. However, this is the only straight tackle ability that says, 15 fewer yards if there's a gridiron in the field. Otherwise, it's 5. You also could run which is one of the ones that I probably would run more so would be this guy. The 2020 TJ Watt. And the only reason why you would do this is to search out your superstar TJ Watt as fast as possible. So you get to discard your entire hand, draw 1 action for every action discarded, draw 1 play for every play discarded, only to start it down. So let you kind of hand fix. This is probably a stronger play. But I went with the tackle ability just due to the synergy to let you ready another play on the field, which then would trigger Trubisky. The opponent would lose 5 yards. Terrell Edmonds, tackle on a run, play gains 15 fewer yards if there's a gridiron in the field. Otherwise, it's 5. And then when you tackle ability, Get ready another Steeler. Cameron Hayward, tackle, run, 3 through 8, cancel the receiver, the run abilities of the runner. So basically Smith Schuster on defense on a 3 through 8. So pretty strong. Joe Hayden, exhaust, decrease the pass range by 1. So very strong, 10% defense struggle. So not bad. Micah Fitzpatrick, you have to run him. There's no really other name that allows you to play into this, so you have to. So in that particular case, we'll say it's about a 3.5. Solid 3 for sure. This just does nothing. Cancel the superstar ability. I mean, stop, Josh Allen. I could probably one of the strongest offensive minds there, or one of the other superstars they decide to maybe play. And you just turn it off, just cancel it. So there's that. Pretty strong. We go to the action deck. Oh, let's play that. Oop. Just kidding. So we go here to the action deck. 22 cards in the action deck. Obviously, I have to run TJ Watt Superstar, which basically says opposing players, offensive players lose their effects and that do not gain additional yards. So what that means is if their particular effect doesn't say gain 10 extra yards, gain 5 extra yards, gain double yardage. If it doesn't say gain extra yards, then he basically says you don't have an ability. Case in point, like Najee Harris, right? Najee Harris says exhaust. If it's first down, energize him, and your next play is unstoppable. You have TJ Watt on the field. This is blank. So you can see where a lot of this is. I mean, you look at Juju, he turns him off. He doesn't turn off Pickens, and he turns off Claypool. So he basically stops all. If you're playing the mirror match and you drop this guy, he turns off everybody except for Pickens, right? So then your offense does nothing, right? So something to keep in mind. It's pretty strong, very, very powerful. That's why the Steelers could be played just based off this guy alone. Looking at the action deck, there's 2 circuit breakers, 1 field dynamics, 1 sharpen focus, 1 not the Sunday, 2 clean slates, 2 team synergy, 2 training recall, 2 fatigue, 2 speed kills, 2 not on this field, 1 loud noise, 1 clear skies, 1 heat wave, 1 hallowed tradition, and 1 TJ Watt. I was going to tell you, so the interaction you can do here with this team is you can take the team synergy and fatigue. If you really wanted to do this, you have your Mitch Trubisky on the bench, your defense comes out, and even like you start on the 25. So let's say we start out the very first drive, right? And I have this particular 2 cards in hand. I can literally during prior to selecting play team synergy, and then pass to my opponent whatever my opponent decides to do. If they do nothing, I can, or if they play something, doesn't matter. My next card is fatigue, and due to first in last out, my fatigue will happen, exhausting every player on the field. And then once that resolves, you'll play team synergy, which says that I get to energize all my players. So then it's 5, 10, 15, 20. And of course, this guy's on the bench. So you lose 20 yards based on Trubisky with that 2-card combo, and they start at the 5-yard line. So pretty strong, pretty cool little combo. It's a little nifty thing that you can do. But other than that, it's a pretty solid team. It's something that you could play, and do have some success with. Definitely try it out, see what you think. If you're a Steelers fan, obviously you're gonna have fun. If you're not a Steelers fan, then I don't blame you. But it's a pretty fun deck. It can definitely do what it needs to do. So definitely pick it up, take a look at it. Last one that we'll look at, obviously, is the Vikings. Now I did play this Vikings deck a while back, and recorded it. I believe I have it as one of the videos that you can watch where I played against the Bears. I played this particular Vikings deck. Basically, Minnesota says synergy is active when all your players are Vikings, and if the score is within 7, your successful plays gain additional 15 yards, and your opponent's successful plays gain 5 fewer yards. So definitely a pretty good synergy, helps you on both offense and defense. The Vikings don't have a 5th player. They did update the rules that you can play the Vikings with only 4 on defense. You don't have to put a 5th in just to make this synergy work. Just don't have one yet. Maybe in 2023 we'll get another Vikings defender. Now, as far as this offensive scheme goes from here, I'll definitely give it a 3. It's a solid 3. There's not a lot of tricks to it. There's not a lot of things that say like, hey, I just, if they had something that made them unstoppable, I think it'd be much better. So, is what it is. They do what they do. It's fun. Chris Carter exhaust, increase or decrease the catch range by up to 3. So it can be up to 3. That's a 30% increase. It makes all your medium passes 90%. It can make your long passes 30% better. So definitely opens up a huge range of things to be like, yeah, just can get that extra yardage. Adam Thielen, run or receive, very utility. Can gain 10 yards if there's no weather cards on the field, otherwise gain 5. Justin Jefferson, receive, gain additional 20 yards if the opponent doesn't have at least 2 defensive backs on the field. So if they don't have 2 corners or a corner and a safety, then he's giving you an extra 20. Kirk Cousins is unique to whenever your opponent plays an action card, you gain 5 yards. So kind of like Trubisky in reverse. When your opponent plays actions, you just kind of gain 5 yards. Dalvin Cook, run. If the play gains 40 or more yards, it becomes first down. So, kind of a utility back. If you can gain 40 or more yards, you just straight get a first down, get to keep the ball. Defense. Defense is what it is. You can't play like too much more, limited on options. But best Daniel Hunter I think you can get. Short or medium pass play gains 15 fewer yards if the player doesn't have power up. Everson Griffin, tackle on a 2 through 7. At the end of the play, you may exhaust one of your opponent's players. So not bad. Get 2 for 1 here. Harrison Smith, tackle. The next tackle effect you use can be used twice. This is actually very strong. Eric Kendricks, tackle on a run right. Play gains 10 fewer yards. So something like Everson Griffith and Harrison Smith, if you tackle first with Harrison Smith, they get one guy exhausted, and then you go Everson Smith. It's tackle ability twice due to Harrison Smith, so then you get to exhaust 2 people. It's not bad. You take a look at Daniel Hunter, they lose 30 yards, and then Kendricks, they lose 20 yards. It's not bad. I would give their defense a 2.5. Definitely below average. And maybe a 2, I guess, since 2.5 would be the average. It's not very strong, but can definitely get you there if you need to. Just really depends on how you play. On their offense, on the action cards, 2 team synergy, 1 sharpen focus, 2 clean slates, 2 outperform, 2 speed kills, 2 sideline support, 1 out the Sunday, 2 draw offsides, 2 dome stadium since you don't want weather, 1 hollow tradition, 1 prevent defense, and 2 false starts. Just to kind of keep your self kind of balanced. And again, when it comes to your play deck, obviously you can set your play deck to however you want to, whatever fits your play style, whatever's gonna kind of get you there. You can kind of change that up. So I just wanted to give you guys some insight. Obviously, that's the last 3 decks that I had available for today. So give you kind of some content, give you about 7 different deck ideas out of the 32 that are available. Something to keep in mind going into league play or the tournament. I'd hope to see you guys out there as soon as the tournament is announced. Definitely make sure that you pick up Tabletop Simulator with the games. Make sure you're playing games. Get with, myself, Kusik, Millen, all in the Discord. We will definitely be able to help you and actually jam some games in whenever you can. That way you can kind of, get used to Tabletop Simulator and things like that prior. It's very, very simple programming. And there's a lot of little shortcut tricks and things like that that you can do to make your gaming experience a lot easier. But definitely get out there and play. It's a lot of fun. Synergy cards, Synergy teams, I guess is, very, very fun format. Just pick your favorite team, build the best deck that you can and move forward, and just kind of see how it goes. But hopefully that's helpful, insightful, and gives you, a good start for these particular teams. Until next time, guys, you guys have a good one. Be safe. Take care.